Good evening, Reverend Fathers, sisters, families, friends, and old cast members from our last St. Thomas More back in 1994. We welcome you to our second performance of A Man for All Times. Tonight's agenda will begin with our orchestra directed by Mrs. Joan Chirillo. They do a fine job, and I think you will enjoy their songs. We are indebted to Mrs. Chirillo. Such is her dedication that yesterday she spent all day at NISMA, and she hurried here for the first performance, and right after immediately had to rush back to NISMA for a good part of the evening. So God bless her. I just wanted to mention a number of individuals who assisted us and thank them publicly here. Mother Bomberger, as always, engineered a few props, most especially the stump and the axe that you'll see later on. Mr. Hofestad and Father Paul Skirky set up the lights. Mr. Bremer helped us to fight the battle against the sound system. And to give the stage a new look, Mr. Gerard Kennedy put up this balcony for my two-story platform. And as I mentioned last night, Mrs. Hubley, who sewed countless plays for the St. Pius. She was back again, working around the clock with many of the sisters, making costumes for over 50 students. So to these individuals and many more, we are so grateful. You may appreciate knowing that last night's audience told me that we had a record short stage changes. And I'm pleased that my stage crew is focused and intent on meeting the clock from last night. Last night I just told a short story to the audience that I also want to share with you. Some of you weren't here, so bear with me, those of you who were here last night. St. Pius has been known for its great actors. Under Mother Mary Bosco's direction, many of you parents have led the way. One day, back in 1994, a ballistic Pat Hawes, as Henry VIII at the time, was one day practicing in our Wantaw gym, yelling out his lines at Father Carroll, then Thomas More. The startled mailman, who arrived in the wrong moment, said to us, "What is wrong with that boy?" Mother loved it, always proud of her actors. She took it as a compliment, and we've carried that down over the ages. And as I mentioned last night again, every year when I think about a play, sometimes people ask me, why do you do this? You work around the clock, school goes crazy, it's really exhausting and disrupting, but it is worth it for the glory of God and the inspiring memories that these students take with them. So I am happy to do it, and I enjoy it. I really love working with the students. So we're back again tonight and determined that we are going to show you who St. Thomas More was. He stood alone, virtually alone against all of England, and gave his life for the sanctity of marriage, which people don't understand today. He stood against compromise when even his family and his friends started to give in. And I think you too will make St. Thomas More one of your favorite saints after tonight. So I turn the show over to the students, and we'll have a very short intermission. Last night I only did 5 minutes, so because the show is long, we need to keep it running so you can get home and make it to Mass on time for tomorrow. So God bless you. Enjoy the show.
The St. Pius V Orchestra continues under the direction of Mrs. Joan Chirillo. Thanks to her, they can compete with the best. So sit back and enjoy the beautiful pieces played by our very own St. Pius Orchestra. We will now begin with the Star Spangled Banner. Please stay.
I tell you, he stooped from the sky.
Oh my.
I'm telling you, it was magnificent. And it's true.
And so are miracles. But I haven't seen any of those either.
Lady Alice, it happened. I'm telling you, I saw it with my own eyes. The bird stooped.
He did.
He did.
Couldn't.
He did. I ought to know the abilities of my own falcon. He does.
Not possible.
It is. And he,
Never.
well, it is so. And it happened. Now, Lady Alice.
Where is your father?
I saw him meeting Master Rich at the boat, but that was some time ago.
Him.
Who's this Master Rich?
He's a graduate from Cambridge.
Yes. Another one. Come begging for a position. I don't know how they all find out that Thomas is the one to go to for a handout.
Yes, he is known for being more than generous.
Known for being a fool, he is. You know the saying. He'd give a man the shirt off his back. Well, just last week, he came home without his own robe. He gave it to a beggar.
That wasn't all, Your Grace. He brought the beggar home for a meal and gave him work on our own lands. Father lives the gospel, not just preaches it.
Well then, since Thomas has so many good qualities, he'll be just the one to settle our debate, Alice.
Yes, if we could just find him. Matthew, have you seen Sir Thomas?
A while ago, I believe I heard him talking in the gardens, Master Rich.
I'm sure you heard him. You hear a lot of things around here, don't you?
My lady,
Oh, get about your business. Go on, go on.
Father's coming now.
But I could learn. No, no, no. But yes, money, land, pleasures, titles. There's always something.
No. Richard, you remember the members of my household? My wife, Lady Alice.
My lady,
This is my son, John. My daughters, Margaret, Cecily, Anne, and Elizabeth. And this is the Duke of Norfolk, Earl Marshal of England, and a very good friend of mine.
this is a great honor, sir. I've heard about you on many occasions from many honorable people, and always spoken of the highest esteem for the English.
Yes. Thomas, we have something for you to settle. It's about time you showed up. I'm sorry to have kept you. I was showing Master Rich the newest additions to the gardens. And what's that?
Oh, Your Grace, you haven't seen the monkey yet? It's splendid.
Splendid and a bit dangerous. Just be careful he doesn't like any of your brooches or pins too much. He pulls them right off you.
But I'll bet there's no other home in England that has a monkey.
There's no other home in England that has any of the animals your father keeps. Here at Chelsea in his gardens.
And what wife would put up with it?
Quite right, Alice. You are so patient with me.
But how do you take care of so many animals and such a variety of plants and flowers?
Everyone has his part here. We all have duties and responsibilities.
Yes. And if any beggar needs a job, he can always come here.
Alice, I was showing Master Rich the newest bird we have.
Speaking of birds, Father, there's a matter concerning birds for you to settle.
Thomas, you can settle this matter. You have to set your wife right, Thomas.
Thomas, a falcon, couldn't suddenly stoop from a dark storm cloud and catch its prey, could it?
I don't know. It sounds unlikely. But then again, I have seen falcons do some very splendid things.
But how could he stoop from a cloud? He couldn't see where he was going.
You see, Alice, you're ignorant of the subject. A real falcon does do splendid things. Thank you, Matthew. And anyway, I was telling Meg the story. It was the first cast of the day. The sun was behind the clouds, and from side to side of the valley, like the roof of a tent, was solid mist.
Oh, it was mist.
Well, mist is a cloud, isn't it?
No.
In the opinion of Aristotle, mist is an exhalation of the earth, whereas cloud.
Oh, the falcon stooped 500 feet, like that. Wonderful, isn't he, Thomas? Your falcon is tremendous. Tremendous.
I'm sorry to disturb you, sir, but I thought this might be important.
Is it anything interesting, Matthew?
Bless you, sir. I don't know.
Bless you too, Matthew.
Would you like some more wine, my lord?
Thank you. Meg, what else have you been reading lately?
Whatever there is to read, Meg has read. She likes father's writings the best.
People all over the world like your father's writings. I think it's his ability to mix humor with serious facts.
I think it's because he writes the truth.
Well, whatever the reason, I just hope they keep liking the writings. We need every shilling we can get.
Well, your husband seems to be interested in someone else's writings now. What is it, Thomas? It's from Cardinal Wolsey. What's he want? Me.
When?
Now.
In Hampton Court? You won't be there until midnight.
And won't be back until morning.
Does he call about the king's business?
The Queen's business?
Mistress Anne Boleyn's business.
Well, it's all the cardinal's business. That's very true. And when the cardinal calls, you all come running day and night. What is that man? A butcher's son. Chancellor of England, too.
No, that's his office. What's the man?
Surely, Your Grace, when a man rises so highly, so swiftly, we must think he was
A
misplaced.
butcher's son and looks it. His looks? Yes, I give you his looks. What was that you said, Richard?
Oh, nothing, Sir Thomas. 'Twas out of place.
And Wolsey is still a butcher. And you're a member of the King's High Council, not an errand boy.
Well, that is why I must go. The Duke would go if the Cardinal called him. I might. I'll be back for breakfast. Now, let us say an evening prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, amen. Dear Lord, give us rest tonight. On earth we must be grateful, cheerful, careful only for our soul's salvation. For Christ's sake. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, amen. And bless our Lord, the King.
And bless our Lord the King.
Amen.
Meg, get your father's coat. John, see to the boat. Thomas, keep clear of Wolsey. He's a frightened man. You know the king's not happy with him. He hasn't been able to get a divorce like he boasted he could. There's a lot of talk about the king removing him from office. If he's calling you at this hour, it must be about the divorce. Be careful. What's that man want?
What do they all want?
A position. Can you give him a position? Do you recommend him?
No.
Sir Thomas. Sir Thomas.
No.
Did you recommend me?
No. Richard, I may have a position for you.
What position?
Thank you, Meg. Not now, Richard. Tomorrow.
Hey, Thomas. Lady Alice has agreed to ride to see my falcon. How about riding a pencil?
Alice, the ground is hard at Hunsford.
Yes. That's where the car took quite a fall.
I'll not fall. And I'll not see a falcon stooping from a cloud either.
You'll see, Alice.
Alice, we'll discuss this wager later. Good night.
Good night.
Right this way, Sir Thomas.
Good evening, Your Grace.
You opposed me at the council this morning, Thomas.
Yes, Your Grace.
You're the only one.
Yes, Your Grace.
You're a fool.
Thank God, there's only one fool in the council.
Why did you oppose me?
I thought Your Grace was wrong.
Of course, it is a matter of conscience. Your constant regrets me, Thomas. You could just eat facts, flat top, without that horrible moral sweat. With a little common sense, you could have made a statement. The king. Where has he been? Do you know?
Your Grace?
Oh, spare me your discretion. You've been with Mr. Anne Boleyn again. More, aren't you going to help me?
If Your Grace would be more specific.
Oh, you're a plotter. You have to have every word spelled out before you commit yourself. All right, we'll plot. The king wants a son. What are you going to do about it? Thomas, we're alone. I give you my word, there's no one here.
I didn't suppose there was, Your Grace.
Oh, do you favor a chain of dynasties, Sir Thomas? A chain of royal families?
Of course not, Your Grace.
That's just what will happen if the king has no male heir. The king needs a son. I repeat, what are you going to do about it?
I pray for it daily.
What about Anne Boleyn?
She's not his wife.
No, Catherine. But she's born him no male heir that's lived long enough. Are you going to pray for a miracle?
There are precedents. Things like that have happened before.
All right. If you are going to pray, pray by all means. But in addition to prayer, there's effort. My efforts to secure a divorce. Have I your support, or have I not?
The Pope gave a dispensation so that the king might marry his brother's widow for state reasons.
Yes.
Now we are to ask the Pope to dispense with this dispensation also for state reasons.
I don't like plotting, Thomas.
Then clearly all we have to do is approach His Holiness and ask him.
I think we might influence the decision of His Holiness.
By argument.
By argument, certainly. And pressure.
Pressure. Apply pressure to the church. You mean church houses, church property.
Pressure.
No, Your Grace. I'm not going to help you.
Then good night, Master Moore. Let the dynasty die with Henry VIII, and we'll have dynastic wars again. Bloodthirsty barons rampaging the country from end to end. Let Henry die without an heir, and that peace, which you think so much of, will go out like that. Is that what you want? Very well. England needs an heir. Certain measures, perhaps regrettable. All right, regrettable, but necessary to get us an heir. Now explain how you, as a counselor of England, can obstruct these measures for the sake of your own private conscience.
Well, I think that when statesmen forsake their own private consciences for the sake of their public duties, they lead their country by a short route to chaos. And we shall have my prayers to fall back on.
You like that, wouldn't you? To govern the country with prayers.
Yes, I should.
I'd like to be there when you try. Who will wear the safe? You, Fisher, Norfolk?
Fisher, rather than me.
What about my secretary, Master Cromwell?
Cromwell, he's a very able man,
But
me, rather than Cromwell.
then come down to earth. Until you do, you and I are enemies.
As your grace wishes.
God wills.
Perhaps, your grace.
More? You should have been a cleric.
Like yourself, your grace. Have you been here all night?
You said there was a post.
Yes, but you've waited all night.
The post.
Oh, yes, yes. I'll offer you a post. With a house and servant and 50 pounds a year.
What post?
At the new school.
A teacher.
Richard, no one is going to give you a place at court.
Master Cromwell says he'll do something for me.
Cromwell? Well, if you have Cromwell's help, you don't need mine.
Sir Thomas, if only you knew how much I'd rather have your help than his.
Not to a place at court.
Why not?
A man should go where he will not be tempted. Look. Look at this.
Why? It's beautiful. It must be worth a great deal of money.
It's Italian silver. Do you want it?
What?
No joke. Keep it. Or sell it.
Why, thank you. Thank you, but
Richard, do you know where I got that?
no.
It's a bribe.
A bribe.
Yes. Look. I am the gift of Anna Macham. Anna Macham has a lawsuit at the Court of Requests.
A bribe. So you give it away.
Had I known, I wouldn't have taken it. Now that I know, I wouldn't keep it. But Richard, that's a little bribe. At court, they offer you all sorts of things. Full men's, manor houses, coats of arms. A man should go where he will not be tempted. Why not be a teacher? You'd be a fine teacher. Perhaps even a great one.
If I were, who would know it?
You, your pupils, your friends, God. Not a bad public, that. And a quiet life.
You say that.
Richard, I was commanded into office. It was inflicted upon me. Can't you believe that?
It's hard to believe.
All right. Well, you must be getting home now.
One more thing, Sir Thomas. You've come from talking with the Cardinal.
Ah, yes. Talking with the Cardinal. It's eating your heart out, isn't it, Rich? The high affairs of state.
It was about the divorce, wasn't it?
Matthew? Matthew, take Master Rich to a boat.
Right, sir. This way, Mr. Rich.
All right, Sir Thomas. Thank you.
Richard, be a teacher.
Lady Alice in bed.
Yes, sir.
Lady Margaret.
No, sir.
What?
Master Roper is here, sir.
At this hour? Who let him in?
He's a hard man to get out.
Tell them both I want to see them.
Yes, sir.
These young people.
Will wants to marry me, Father.
Well, he can't marry you.
Sir Thomas, I'm called to the bar.
Congratulations, Roper.
My family may not be in the palace, sir, but
There's nothing wrong with your family, Will. There's not much wrong with you. Except you seem to need a clock.
I can buy a clock, sir.
Well, the answer is no, and will be no, As long as you are heretic.
Now that's a word I don't like, Sir Thomas.
It's not a likable word. It's not a likable thing.
But I'm telling you.
Will, no.
I know what I say.
No sense of the place.
There's no sense of the time. Now listen, Will. 2 years ago, you were a passionate Catholic. Now, you're a passionate Lutheran. We must just pray that by the time your head is finished spinning, your face is to the front again. Did you ride?
No,
Is your
sir.
horse here?
I walked.
Well, go to the stables and borrow a horse.
May I come again?
Yes, soon. Our final father.
As long as he is a heretic, Meg, that's absolute.
What did Wolsey want?
Fine boy, young Will. Terribly strong principles. Clumsy, too. You look very thoughtful, Meg.
And you look very cheerful. That tells me something's up. Was it the divorce?
They're a cantankerous lot, the Ropers, always swimming against the stream. Old man Roper was just the same.
You don't want to talk about it.
No. Oh, now look what you've done. I'm sorry you're awakened here.
Oh, I wasn't sleeping very deeply. But I've just seen young Roper on my horse.
Don't worry, he'll bring it back.
Well, all right. What did Wolsey want?
He's been to see Meg.
All night?
Will wants to marry Meg.
Why, if you don't beat that girl.
No, no. She's full of education, and education is a delicate commodity.
Well, what a pity.
Yes, but it's there now. And think of what it cost to put it there.
Meg, get some hot water for your father.
Yes, ma'am.
What impudence. Young Roper asking to marry Meg, a lawyer's son.
Well, she's a lawyer's daughter.
You're more than just a lawyer. Why, just tonight, Norfolk spoke to you as Chancellor of England.
He's a dangerous friend, Ben. Wolsey's chancellor. God help him.
Here, Father, drink this.
I don't want this.
Drink it. Great men get cold just the same as common men.
Well, that's dangerous, leveling talk there, Alice. A shocking statement comparing great men with the common. Beware of the tower.
Oh, stop her choosing for once and drink it.
I will. In bed.
Father, would you want to be Chancellor?
No.
That's what I said. But Norfolk said if Wolsey fell...
If Wolsey fell, the splash would swamp a few small boats like ours. No. There will be no new chancellor while Wolsey lives. Now, let's get to bed. I need a few hours rest before I depart for the palace tomorrow.
My Lady Evelyn, I regret to tell you that today, hundreds of women rioted against you in the streets here in London. The guards are bringing in just a few of the women who were armed.
Lady Jane is right. These women do not fail to encourage King Catherine at her every entrance and departure of the palace by their continued cries.
You dishonor the royal family whom you ought to serve.
I too have heard them. They honor the former queen, and they profess their allegiance to Catherine's crown.
Who incited you to ride against me? Bishop Fisher? Fool that he is!
Bishop Fisher had nothing to do with our protest.
We wish you none harm, Lady Anne, for we are loyal to the true Queen of England.
May God preserve Queen Catherine of Aragon.
How can you insult my lady? We pray for her well-being and her immortal soul.
Sirs! If Queen Catherine and her haughty advisors do not acknowledge the succession soon, I will have them locked up in a tower along with all who oppose me.
Our Queen Catherine fears no one but God.
What arrogance! You should be begging for mercy. Insolent fool! Be gone from my presence. Guards! Take them to the tower. Make a lesson out of them. I will show the people the power of their new queen.
Long live the true Queen of England, Catherine of Aragon.
May God protect her from her enemies.
Was that really necessary? If you stir up more sympathy for Queen Catherine by making her followers martyrs, who will the people support?
Those are dangerous words, Jane Seymour. How dare you meddle in my business? It is rumored that you are secretly opposed to me. You cross me one more time and you will lose your position. And you can hire someone else for trinkets and jewels.
Lady Anne! There's none other I would rather serve.
Then let no more be said.
Lady Anne, Lady Jane Eliza, there's news from France to divert your attention.
I need to move His Majesty's satisfaction.
Well, not yet. Although King Francis has promised to persuade the Pope on His Majesty's behalf, he has done no such thing.
Doesn't matter.
What else should we have expected from the King of France?
Yes, I hope for better news soon.
Lady Eleanor, I have good reasons not to wait for the Pope's decision. The annulment of Henry and Catherine's marriage must be declared immediately.
This could be difficult, my lady.
What about Thomas Cromwell, the King's secretary? Has he had any success, Lady Jane?
Cromwell is an able administrator. He is also ambitious and cunning. Since the church will not grant divorce, Cromwell will remove the church from the situation.
When Henry becomes the head of the Church of England, he can grant himself the divorce.
Clever.
Ingenious.
My Henry hates Cromwell enough to remove all resistance of the clergy. In no time, my ladies, you will see who will win this game.
Britain Europe has such a reputation for entertainment, and also a reputation for other things.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Oh, don't act ignorant. We all know what's going on. No other court is known to have so much intrigue and action.
Are you referring to Wolsey?
Wolsey was only one of the figures involved in this game of politics, power, and desires.
Was important?
What do you mean by was?
Haven't you heard? Wolsey has lost all favor with the king.
Yes, I heard that the great seal and chain of office were taken from him. Wolsey is no longer chancellor?
He's not chancellor. His lands and riches have been taken from him, and the king no longer wants him in sight.
My, this is news.
News from one who wants to know. Lady Anne Boleyn herself.
Wolsey didn't get the divorce from King Henry, and Lady Anne is not much more patient than our king.
But Wolsey had so much influence with the king.
Not anymore. Lady Anne knows that position.
What does the Queen have to say about all this?
She's not allowed to say much. Queen Catherine's lucky she's still in the palace.
I don't know if I call that lucky for her.
I wonder why she even stays in England. The situation is bad for her now. It seems to only get worse.
She stays a strong and determined woman.
She wants to be sure her daughter inherits the throne.
I think Lady Anne Boleyn has other plans.
And so does the lady.
Lady Anne is coming.
Henry knows how to entertain. Why, all the noblemen within 20 miles of London will be here tonight. And who's this? Oh, you, Sir Thomas.
Yes. Just little old maid.
If you're looking for the king, he's really quite busy.
I'm sure he is.
He is.
As I said, I'm sure he is.
Why are you here?
I think you'll have to ask the king that question. He sent for me.
Oh.
but I don't think what he has to say to me will take very long.
Good. There are other important things to attend to. So many of you lawyers are at the palace day and night, as if King Henry would even need your services. I don't know how he puts up with all of you.
Well, at least we have something in common, Lady Anne. I don't know how he puts up with me either.
Please, madam, can you spare a crust of bread? My husband is sick and my children are starving.
A beggar, here in the palace hall. Who let this woman in?
Please, madam, for pity's sake, help me.
Guards! Guards, remove this woman at once. Why, if I feed you, I'll have all the poor England here at my door.
Sir Thomas.
Lady Isabel, what a pleasure.
Sir Thomas, we heard you were in the palace. I've looked everywhere for you.
Well, you should have known. I've been here waiting in the hall. I'm at the beck and call of my king.
Have you been waiting long?
Well, if I had been allowed to wait in the chapel as I had asked, I could have heard 4 or 5 masses by now.
Does King Henry know you're waiting?
He sent for me, so I think he does. But if the king bids me to wait, I'm satisfied to wait.
You have always served the king and queen well, Sir Thomas. The queen hoped she might see you, but since you are still waiting for the king, perhaps she will come to you.
If it's the queen's wish.
And if I may presume to speak candidly, there is talk that dangerous threats have been made against Queen Catherine and her daughter. I fear for the queen. I know you will do all in your power. We will return right away. The hall is clear, my lady.
Thank you, Isabel.
My lady,
Sir Thomas, it's so good to see you. It's been a long time since we've had this pleasure.
the pleasure is all mine.
Be seated. Oh, Thomas, do you remember those days when you came to dine with King Henry and me?
How could I forget?
What laughs we all had together.
Yes. King Henry has quite a sense of humor.
It was you that made us laugh, Thomas. And what discussions we had. Astronomy, philosophy. Oh, the two of you were marvelous together. How I miss those days. What now, Thomas?
What do you mean, my lady?
You know what I mean. Help us, Thomas. Help Henry.
My lady, you know I always do what I can to help the king in any of his endeavors.
You don't wish to speak. I understand. I don't mean to put you in an awkward position.
There's no one around, my lady.
My lady,
All right, Thomas, don't speak. Yes, perhaps that's the best way. Just listen. You needn't say anything in response. I know your mind and your heart well enough. Thomas, we need your help. England needs your help. The throne, the true heir, my daughter Mary. We need your help, Thomas. You know him. He's a lion, but he's also a lamb. I love my husband. I love my daughter. I think I have even grown to love England and its people. I'm worried, Thomas.
speak to you again, Sir Thomas.
My lady,
No, Thomas, don't speak. I'm not offended. This is best. Stay with me. If you can assist him, you will assist me. And you will assist England. Thank you, Sir Thomas, for everything.
Good Queen Catherine, 'tis true I heard you were here. For pity's sake, help me and my English family.
You poor woman, of course I'm a woman. But how did you get in? I slipped through when the guards were not looking. Lady Isabel, take this poor woman to my quarters at once. Feed her, clothe her, and then accompany her to her home with many provisions. So many poor and suffering. Bless you, Catherine, bless you.
my lady, you will always remain in my daily prayers.
You don't know just how much I need those prayers. Thank you, Sir Thomas.
The liege lord, King Henry VIII.
Thomas! No ceremony, Thomas, no ceremony. Come on, Thomas, be seated. Guard, clear the hall.
Yes, my lord. This way, this way.
Good evening, Thomas. Thomas, I hope I did not keep you waiting too long. It was good of you to come so promptly.
The comings and goings of court life have kept me occupied, as well as entertained.
Ah, yes, there's always so much commotion around here. But let's admit it, Thomas, both of us, being scholars, prefer the quiet life of your Chelsea to the commotion of this palace and courts. Ah, Chelsea. I haven't been there in a while.
No, Your Grace, and we all miss your good company.
Chelsea. We've had some good times together, Thomas.
Yes, Your Grace.
Thomas, you've been a good friend, and you've been a wise counselor, one the best a king ever had. That is why we are all the more confident that you will accept and bear well the charge we wish to lay upon you. We would have you be Lord Chancellor, to administer mercy as well as justice in our name.
Son.
Yes, Thomas, Chancellor, my first counselor.
But Your Grace, Wolsey.
Wolsey? Wolsey? Wolsey is no longer my chancellor. I won't hear him spoken of. He failed me. He was proud, ambitious, conniving, dishonest, and incompetent. Wolsey is at Leicester Abbey. He is dying.
I shall pray for his good death.
He'll need prayers for that. I sent Sir William Kingston to remove the chain of office from Wolsey. Do you know what he had the nerve to say to Sir William? He said if he had served God as diligently as he had the king, he would not have abandoned him in his gray hairs. Served me diligently, ha! He served only himself. You see, Thomas? You see how much he's hurting me? I can barely talk about him. No, he is not to be spoken of again. Now, Thomas, you will be my chancellor. Come on, Thomas, be seated. Now, Thomas, I do not want to be my first counselor.
I am not able, not worthy to hold such an office. After the great prelates who have gone before me, I am a mere lawyer, no judge. And there are some worthier for the task. Consider, your grace, I am advancing in age. This post needs abounding energy.
You, in poor health, without strength? Not so. You have more energy than most of the men at this palace or at the court. Furthermore, I will not admit the plea that you're old, for that would make me old too.
Your grace, there are many years between us.
Not too many. I knew you when you were a young man. So you may not call yourself old in my hearing. A lame excuse. If you wanted an excuse, you could have done better than that.
Will you not believe me, sire? There are reasons, not just excuses. May I speak freely, Your Majesty, without giving offense?
Surely. Thomas, you ought to know that your independence and free-mindedness is what I prize in you most. I need more unsubservience, free-minded men who could think for themselves.
Well.
Speak, Thomas. Do not fear. These are words between two friends, Thomas and Henry.
It is your speaking of me that troubles me. You were disappointed in your previous chancellor because he could not further your cause. He could not obtain for you a divorce. You know my inmost conviction on this matter. To you alone have I spoken of it. And I serve your grace well, and not be troubled with this divorce.
Be assured, Thomas, I will never infringe on your liberty of conscience. Thomas, do you remember the words I first spoke to you when you reluctantly enough first came into my service so many years ago?
I have never forgotten them. Daily I repeat them. Serve God first, and then your king.
Then you can continue to serve me. I don't ask you to be chancellor for any other reason other than the restoring of mercy and impartial justice in this land, which affects my honor and title as king.
Well, since your grace asks, even in my unworthiness, I must accept. I will serve God first, and then my king.
I am strictly charged by the King himself here openly to declare how much all England is beholden to this man, and how worthy he is, who have the highest room in the realm, and how dearly the King's grace does trust him, not only for much good counsel delivered in council, but for better counsel yet, which is privy to the King's person. And this same Sir Thomas More, here made before you all, to be Lord Chancellor of the realm.
Calm yourself, Matthew. That's Lady Alice.
My lady, the king, the king.
Is Is there something the matter?
The matter?
Does the king visit you every day?
No, but I do try to go to Mass every day. Well, what's wrong?
Well, I'll tell you. First, you're not even here as the king is arriving.
I'm here.
And second, do you propose to meet the king, disguised as an altar boy?
Oh.
Oh, Thomas, you try my patience.
Here, Father, let me help you.
A server. Thomas, you dishonor the king and his office.
The service of God is not a dishonor to any office, and the king would not be offended with me for serving God, his master.
Do you really think he'll see it that way?
Yes, I do. For the king has sometimes most devoutly served at Mass. As a matter of fact, he has told me to serve God first and then my king. And that's just what I'm doing today. Now, let's have a look at all the beautiful ladies of my household. Alice, that's a lovely dress. You all look splendid. And I'm sure everything is well prepared.
Thomas, where is your chain of office?
Thomas, Matthew, fetch my lord to chain, quickly.
Now, everyone calm down.
Thomas, you try me.
I don't intend to.
That's what makes it even more trying. You don't seem a bit nervous, Thomas.
Nervous? Why should I be nervous? The king has visited me before.
Thomas, you know what I mean. Look at all those boats that have now landed. The king has brought his royal barge. He's brought with him practically all his court.
Yes. He does look especially splendid and powerful today.
He comes as your king, and he comes on business. You know what he wants from you.
What's he really come for?
Talk about the divorce. He wants an answer.
But he's had his answer.
He wants another.
Thomas!
Your Majesty does my household more honor than I fear my household will bear.
No ceremony, Thomas, no ceremony. A passing fancy. I happen to be on the river. Look, mud! Lady Alice, I fear we have come upon you unexpectedly.
Yes, I mean, no, your grace. That is, we're ready to entertain.
Sorry, these are my children. This is my son, John. My daughters, Elizabeth, Anne, Cecily, and Margaret.
Why, Margaret, I've heard of you. They've told me you're a scholar.
Answer, Margaret.
Among women I pass for one, your grace.
Antiquini modo Latine loqueris on Oxianensi.
Quame docrit pater domini.
Bene, optimus est. Grecome linguam quoque te docuit.
Grecame docrit pater meus and meus patris amicus. Johannes Colletti sancta pars decanus. In literis scriptis tamen, non minus quam literis, ars magistri disciplines delitsi.
Do you dance too?
Not well, your grace.
Well, I dance superlatively. Now that's a dancer's leg, Margaret. Hey, Norfolk. Now that's a wrestler's leg. But I can throw him. Should I show them, Howard? Shall I throw him, Margaret?
No, your grace.
Ha! Free by the kindness of Lady Margaret. Margaret, I'm something of a scholar too. Did you know that?
All the world knows your grace's books, asserting the seven sacraments of the church.
Ah, yes, Refutation of Luther. But well done too, if I do say so myself. Lady Alice, the river has given me an appetite.
If your grace would share a simple supper.
It would please me. Lead them in, Thomas and I will follow.
Matthew?
My lords and gentlemen.
Wait, Margaret.
Your grace?
Do you like music?
Yes, your grace.
Like love? Go on, blow. Louder. My musicians, they will play to you. Come on, Thomas, be seated. Be seated. Do you hear it? Now this is the life. Thomas, you're my friend, are you not? Thank God I have a friend for my chancellor, readier to befriend, I trust, than he was to be chancellor.
I own knowledge of my poor abilities.
I will judge your abilities, Thomas. Thomas, did you hear that? Wolsey named you for chancellor?
Wolsey?
Aye, before he died, Wolsey named you. Wolsey was no fool.
He was a statesman of incomparable ability, Your Grace.
Was he? Was he so? Then why did he fail me? Be seated. It was villainy then, yes, villainy, secret opposition, secret but willful, meditated and deliberate opposition, wanted to be Pope to master me, Wolsey. And what is it for? Because I'm simple and plain and deal with every man straightforwardly, because then I say, do they take me for a simpleton? Wolsey was a proud man, Thomas. Pride right through, and he failed me in the one thing that matters that is now. But look, be seated. What an evening. A man can fight a lion, eh?
Some men could, Your Grace.
Thomas, touching this matter of my divorce, have you thought of it since we last spoke?
Little else.
And do you see your way clear to me?
That you should put away Queen Catherine, sire. Alas, as I think of it, I see clearly that I cannot come with Your Grace. That it is my endeavor not to think of it at all.
Then you haven't thought enough! What's that smell? It smells sweet. It's lilac. I've some in Hampton. Not so fine as this, though. Thomas, you must consider, I stand in peril of my soul. It was no marriage. I have lived with my brother's widow. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 16 says so.
Yes, Your Grace. But Deuteronomy...
Deuteronomy is ambiguous.
Your Grace, I am not fitted to meddle in these matters. To me, it seems a matter for the Holy See.
Thomas, does a man need a pope to tell him when he sins? It was a sin. God's punished me. I have no sons. Son after son, Catherine's bore me, dead at birth or dead within the month. Never saw the hand of God so clearly in anything. It is my bounden duty to put away the queen, and all the popes back to Peter shall not come between me and my duty. How is it that you cannot see? Everybody else can.
Then why does Your Grace need my poor support?
Because you're honest. And what's more, to the public, you're honest. There are those like Norfolk who follow me because I wear the crown. There are those like Master Cromwell who follow me because they are jackals with sharp teeth, and I am their tiger. And there's a mass that follows me because they'll follow anything that moves. And then there's you.
I am sickened to think how much I must displease Your Grace.
No, Thomas. I respect your sincerity. But respect, man, that's like water in the deserts. Well, how did you like our music? That air they played, it had a certain... Well, tell me what you thought.
Would it have been Your Grace's own.
Discovered. Now I'll never know your true opinion, and that's irksome. Oh, we artists, we love praise, but we love truth all the better.
I shall tell your Grace my true opinion. To me it seemed delightful.
Thomas, I chose the right man for Chancellor.
I should in fairness add that my taste in music is reputedly deplorable.
Thomas, your taste in music is excellent and it exactly coincides with my own. Ah, music. Send him back without me, Thomas. I'll stay here in Chelsea and make music.
My house is at your Grace's disposal.
Touching this other business, mark you. I want no opposition.
Your Grace.
No opposition. No opposition. I see how it will be. Bishops will oppose me. Mind they don't take you in, Thomas.
Your Grace is unjust. If I cannot serve your Grace in this great matter of the Queen.
I have no queen. Catherine's not my wife. No priest can make her so. They that say she is my wife are not only liars but traitors. Yes, traitors. That I will not brook. Treachery, 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 I will not brook. It is a deadly canker in the body politic, and I will have it out! You see, Thomas? You see how you've maddened me? I hardly know myself. If you can come with me, there's no man I'd sooner raise yes with my own hand.
Your Grace overwhelms me.
What's that?
8 o'clock, Your Grace.
Lift yourself up, man. Have I promised enough to keep you out of it? Now come on, let's go eat.
If it pleases Your Grace.
8 o'clock, you said? Oh no, the tide will be turning. I was forgetting the tide. I must get back to Richmond.
Sorry, Your Grace.
No, don't come. Lady Alice, I'm sorry, the tide. I was forgetting the tide. And affairs called me to the court. So I must go. We give you our thanks and we say good night.
What's happened? You've crossed him.
Somewhat.
Why?
I couldn't find any other way.
Oh, Thomas.
Woman, mind your house.
I am minding my house.
Alice, what would you have me do?
Be ruled. If you won't rule him, be ruled.
I neither would, nor could rule my king. But there is a little area where I must rule myself. It is very little to him, much less than a tennis court. Come now, Alice. Smile a little.
Do you really think he suddenly remembered some duties of court?
Well, that's what he said.
I know what he said, but it's 8 o'clock at night. Probably the hour Lady Anne Boleyn likes to dance.
No.
And you stand between them.
What stands between them is a sacrament of the church. I'm less important than you think. Alice, set your mind at rest. This is not the stuff of which martyrs are made.
Oh, I wish the king had at least stayed for dinner.
Oh, yes. We shall be dining on that simple supper of yours for a fortnight.
Sir Thomas.
Oh, no.
Good evening, sir. Lady Alice.
Will wants to talk to you, Father. I told him it wouldn't be convenient.
Quite right. How long have you been here, Will? Were you in the king's party?
No, sir, I am not in the king's party. It's that I wish to speak to you. You had a disagreement with His Majesty.
Have I?
So Meg tells me. I offer my congratulations.
If it is true, is it a matter for congratulations?
Yes. Sir, when last I asked for your daughter's hand, you objected to my unorthodox opinions.
I did.
Well, since then, my views have somewhat modified.
Well, that's good hearing, Will.
Mind you, I modified nothing concerning the various corruptions in the church.
Quite right.
But an attack upon the church herself? No! Luther is not the only one making this blunder. An attack on the church is taking place right here in England, from the highest of offices. And I see behind that an attack on God.
Will, silence.
The devil's work.
Roper.
To be done by the devil's minister.
For heaven's sake, Will, remember my office.
You stand on your office.
I don't stand on it, but there are certain things I may not hear.
Master Rich is here, Sir Thomas.
Good evening, Sir Thomas.
Richard.
Good evening, Lady Alice. Lady Margaret.
You know Sir William Roper?
No. By reputation, of course.
Good evening, Master.
Rich.
Oh.
You've heard of me?
Yes.
In what connection? I don't know what you could have heard. I sense I'm not welcome here.
Why, Richard? Have you done something to make you not welcome?
Cromwell is asking questions. He's repeatedly asking questions about you and your opinions.
Of whom?
Of him, for one. That's one of his sources.
Of course. That's one of my servants. All right, Matthew.
Why, you look at me as though I were an enemy.
Why, Richard? You're shaking.
Help me.
How?
Employ me.
No.
Employ me.
No.
I would be faithful.
Richard, you could not answer for yourself, even so far as tonight.
Arrest him.
For what?
He's dangerous.
For libel, he's a spy.
Father, that man's back.
There's no law against that.
There is. God's law.
Then God can arrest him.
Well, you talk, he's God.
And go he should if he were the devil himself, until he broke the law.
So now you give the devil benefit of law.
Yes. What would you do? Cut a great road with the law to get after the devil?
I cut down every law in England to do that.
Oh? And when the last law was cut down, and the devil turned round on you, where would you hide, Roper? The laws all being flat. This country is planted thick with laws from coast to coast. Man's laws, not God's. And if you cut them down, and you're just the man to do it, do you really think you could stand upright in the winds that would blow then? Yes. I give the devil benefit of the law for my own safety's sake.
Master Rich, sir.
Rich, come in, come in. Taking you long enough to get here.
Have I kept you waiting?
Lots. 4. Sit down, Rich. No ceremony, no courtship, as His Majesty would say.
Thank you. Ah, this is good.
No, we. Do you know the news?
What news?
Sir Thomas Paget is retiring, and I succeed him.
Secretary of the Council. You.
'Tis surprising.
Oh, no. 'Tis logical. I mean,
Do you like the wine, Rich?
why? Yes.
Our good King Henry likes this too. And I'm sure Lady Boleyn enjoys it with him. Do you see how I trust you, Rich?
Oh, I would never repeat a report a thing like that.
What kind of thing would you repeat or report?
Well, nothing said in friendship.
Do you believe that?
Yes.
No. Seriously.
Why? Yes.
Rich. Seriously.
It would depend what I was offered.
Don't say it just to please me.
It's true. It would depend what I was offered.
Well, there is another post vacant. Collector of revenues for York.
Is it in your gift?
It will be.
What must I do for it?
Rich, I know a man who wants to change his wife. In this case, it's our liege lord, Henry, the eighth of that name. Which is a quaint way of saying, if he wants to change his wife, he will. And our job as administrators is to minimize any inconvenience which this is going to cause. To minimize the inconvenience. That's our only job, Rich. A harmless occupation, you would say. But no, we administrators are not liked, Rich. We are not popular. I say we, on the assumption that you have accepted the post that York have offered you.
Yes. Yes.
It's a bad sign when people are depressed by their own good fortune.
I'm not depressed.
You look depressed.
I'm lamenting. I've lost my innocence.
You lost that some time ago. If you've only just noticed, it must not have been very important to you. Your friend, our present Lord Chancellor, now there is an innocent man.
The odd thing is, he is.
Yes, I say he is. Unhappily, his innocence is tangled up in this proposition that you cannot get a divorce. And from this quite meaningless circumstance, I foresee some
inconvenience.
Just so. This goblet he gave you, how much is it worth? Come along, Rich. He gave you a silver goblet. How much did you get for it?
50 shillings.
It was a gift, wasn't it? From a woman engaged in a lawsuit? Come on.
Yes.
Which court was it? Chancery? No, Rich. Don't get drunk. Answer me. In which court was this woman's case?
The court of request.
There. That wasn't too painful now, was it?
Why? No.
No. And you'll find it easier the next time.
But do little things like that really help?
Those kind of tidbits help to frighten a man.
I don't think you'll frighten Sir Thomas.
There are ways
that would even frighten Sir Thomas. There are ways. There are ways. Pain can move a man to do many things he ordinarily wouldn't do. Even Sir Thomas.
His Majesty accepts your resignation very sadly. He is mindful of your goodness and past loyalty, and in any matter that concerns your honor and welfare, he will continue your good lord.
You will convey my humble gratitude. Help me.
Not I.
Alice?
No. Son and moon, Master Moore. You're speaking for a wise man. Is this wisdom? To betray your ability, abandon your station, forget your duty toward your kith and kin?
Shall I, sir?
No. Thank you, son Wilbur. Margaret, will you help?
Yes, if you want.
There's my clever girl.
Well done, sir. In my opinion, that thing's a degradation. Yes. And I'll tell you my opinion of the king's title too.
Don't, Will. Remember, you have a wife now, and may have children. Please, allow me to speak with Howard for a few moments.
All right, Thomas, make me understand. Because to me, this looks like cowardice.
All right, I will. This is not reformation. This is war on the church. Our king has declared war on the Pope because the Pope will not declare that the Queen is not his wife.
And is she? Is she?
And by your word, that what you say here is between us.
Oh, very well.
And if the king should command you to repeat what I may have said,
I should keep my word to you.
then what has become of your oath of obedience to the king?
You lay traps for me.
No. I show you the times.
Oh, very well. We are at war with the Pope. But the Pope is a prince, isn't he?
He is. And he is also the descendant of St. Peter.
So you believe, and will you forfeit all you have, which includes the respect of your country, for a belief?
Yes. Because what matters is that I believe it. Or rather, no. Not that I believe it, but that I believe it. I trust I make myself obscure.
Perfectly. Why do you insult me with this lawyer's chatter?
Because I'm afraid.
Man, you're ill. This isn't Spain, you know. This is England. Oh, you're impossible, Thomas. Good day.
Good day, Howard.
Well, Howard left here in Florida State. What will you do now? Sit around making drawings in the afternoon?
No. I expect I'll write a bit. I'll write. I'll read. I'll think. I think I'll learn to fish. I'll play with our grandchildren. Alice, should I teach you to read?
No. Ridiculous. You poor silly man. Do you really think they leave you here to think?
If we govern our tongues, they will. Listen, I have a word to say on that. I have made no statement. I have resigned. That is all. The king is made. by an act of Parliament, supreme head of the Church in England. This English Church will first divorce him from the Queen, and then marry him to Lady Anne. But on any of these matters, have you heard me make a statement?
No. And if I'm to use my rank ball to housekeeping, I want to know the reason why. So make a statement now.
No, Alice, it's a point of law, accepted from me, that in my silence is my safety under the law. And my silence must be absolute. It must extend to you.
In short, you don't trust me.
A man would have to be half-witted not to trust you. Listen. I am the Lord, Chief Justice. I'm Cromwell. I'm Keeper of the Tower. I take your hand. I clasp it on the Holy Bible, on the blessed cross, and I say, woman, has your husband made a statement on any of these matters? Now, on peril of your soul, remember, what is your answer?
No.
And so it must remain.
Have you opened your mind to Meg?
Would I tell Meg, but I won't tell you.
Meg and you understand one another. Meg has your heart. I know that.
No. I haven't told Meg, nor anyone of this matter.
Well, this is a dangerous matter then. If you haven't told Meg.
No, no. When they find I'm silent, they'll want nothing better than to leave me silent. You'll see.
Sir, I've gathered all the servants. They're all wondering what's happening.
Thank you, Matthew. Please send the children. Later I'll speak to the servants.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't think we need to discuss what further needs to be done.
What more can we discuss? I'll mind my house for Lily.
I know you will, and I am most grateful.
But I'm still not sure we'll be able to make ends meet.
We'll try. And we'll try. Here are the children. You all know I have given up my office as Chancellor of England.
That we do, and I say...
Well, this is not the time for you to say anything. Let me speak. Now that I have given up my office, I will have less money. I cannot count on more than £100 a year. Things will not be as comfortable around here. I will have to let the servants go. We must each take share in the running of the house. It's only for the time being. I'm sorry.
Well, now we might think of ourselves as monks or soldiers, all living together and doing our duties.
Well, at least we will all be married together. Now, go in the gardens and get some sunshine while I deal with our good servants. This is not the task I like. My good friends, you all know why I have called you here. I have today resigned my office. I am no longer a great man.
Sir, we wanted you to know that we're on your side.
My side? What side is that?
Well, sir, we all know what you think.
None of you knows what I think. And if you guess it and babble it about, you'll do me no good service. Now, since I am no longer a great man, I no longer need a great household, nor can afford one. You will all have to go. However, I still number a great many men among my friends, and they all need great households. None of you will be turned away without first finding another place to stay.
But we can't find places for them all.
Yes, we can. Thank you. That is all. What about you, Matthew? Will you stay?
Oh, yes.
Well, sir, that's according.
There will be more work and less money.
Sir Thomas, how can we?
Well then, sir, I don't see how I can then, sir. After all, I have my wife.
Quite right. Why should you? I shall miss you, Matthew.
Oh no, sir. You see through me, sir. I know that.
I shall miss you.
Miss me? Isn't that ridiculous? Miss me? What's in me for him to miss? Matthew, will you take a cut in your wages? No, Sir Thomas, I will not. And that's it. That's all of it.
So he's down on his luck. I'm sorry.
I don't mind saying that. I'm sorry. Bad luck. If I had any good luck to spare, he could have some. I wish we could have good luck all the time. I wish that rainwater was beer. I wish we had wings. But we don't.
And so, my lords, I conclude we must look to the first marriage of Queen Catherine. She was married to King Henry's brother. And what do we know concerning the marriage to a brother's wife? The law states...
Oh, I'm tired of all this lawyer talk. Call the witness.
Catherine of Aragon, come into the court.
Catherine of Aragon.
Do you solemnly swear to...
This court has no authority to judge a marriage. Marriage is an indissoluble bond between a man and a woman. It is a vow to God. And what God has joined together, no man on this earth may put asunder. Sir, I beseech you, for all the love that hath been between us, and for the love of God, let me have justice. Give me some pity and compassion, for I am a poor woman and a stranger, born out of your country. I have here no assured friends, and much less indifferent counsel. I flee to you as the head of justice within this realm. I take God and all the world to witness that I have been to you a true, humble, and obedient wife, ever conformable to your will and pleasure. I loved all those whom you loved, only for your sake, whether I had cause or not, and whether they were my friends or enemies. These 20 years I have been to you true wife and companion, and by me you have had many children, although it hath pleased God to call them out of this world. This has been no fault of mine. Now,
I take God to be my judge. I never was your mother's wife, though we were engaged. Only in civil court were we man and wife, for we were yet children. You know this as well as I, and all the realm knows this to be true. I put it to your conscience.
My lady, you must remain in court.
My lady.
You are called to answer.
Stop. Come back.
Come here. This woman's name is Anna Machel. She comes from Leicester and entered a case in the court of request.
A property case it was, sir.
Shut up. A property case in the court of request in April 1526.
And got a really false judgment, sir.
And got an impeccably correct judgment from our friend, Sir Thomas.
No, sir, it was not.
Silence. Tell the gentleman about the gift you gave to the judge.
I gave him a cup, sir. A silver Italian cup that he bought from Leicester for 100 shillings.
Did Sir Thomas accept this cup?
Yes, sir, he did.
He did accept it. We can corroborate that. You may go.
To my way of thinking.
Go.
Is that your witness?
No. By an odd coincidence, this cup later fell into the hands of Master Rich here.
How?
He gave it to me.
Gave it to you? Why?
It was a gift.
A gift? Oh, yes. You were a friend, weren't you? When did Sir Thomas give you this thing?
I don't remember.
You remember what you did with it?
I sold it.
Where?
At a shop.
And the shop still got it?
No, they've lost all track of it.
How convenient.
You doubt Master Rich's word, Your Grace?
It had occurred to me.
This is the bill of sale.
That cow in a case in court in April said, "This is dated in May." In other words, the moment Thomas knew the cup was a bribe, he dropped it into the nearest gutter.
The facts may bear that interpretation, I suppose.
This is a horse that won't run, Master Secretary.
Just a trial, Calvin. We'll find something better.
Well, I want a part of it.
You have no choice.
What's that you say?
The king. The king particularly wishes you to be active in this certain matter of Sir Thomas.
He's not told me that.
Indeed. He told me.
Look here, Cromwell. What's the purpose of all this?
There you have it. It's a matter of conscience, I think. The king wants Sir Thomas More to bless his marriage. If Sir Thomas were to appear at the coronation of Queen Anne, I think it might save us all a lot of trouble.
He won't attend the wedding?
If I were you, I would try to persuade him. I really would try. I would you.
Cromwell, are you threatening me?
My dear Norfolk, this isn't Spain. This is England.
Well, it almost feels like old times to have you here, Howard.
You know it's not old time, Thomas. I'm worried. Come to the coronation of Lady Anne. Come, Thomas. That would show the king your goodwill.
It would show the king and the others a lot more than that.
Perhaps if you would just give in to this, you'd be left alone like you want.
Do you really believe that, Howard? Do you really think that any man can give in once and not be asked, not be expected to give in again and again?
Thomas, it is dangerous driving with princes. I'm telling you, incline in some way to the king's pleasure. You know it said, the anger of kings is death.
Is that all? And in good faith, there is no more difference between yourself and me, except that I shall die today, and you tomorrow.
Thomas, I tell you...
Father! A messenger from the Bishop of Winchester brought a letter.
Where is the messenger?
I asked him to stay for a reply, but he said he couldn't wait.
I can't wait to see what it says.
Open it, Thomas.
Be it good news or bad, I will open it. Interesting. Very considerate of them.
Well, are you going to share this news with your family?
Oh yes, sorry, dear. Of course I'll share this with my family, as I share all things. I've been asked by Bishop Gardiner of Winchester, Bishop Tunstall of London, and Bishop Clerk of Wales to accompany them in the procession for the ceremony of coronation.
You see, even they tell you to do it. Come to the coronation.
The king's wedding, some call it.
What a farce.
Well, I have another name for it. There will be no wedding because it was supposedly done some months ago in secret. But no, Lady Anne will be crowned Queen of England. The celebration is to honor both events. The first, which was a farce, and the second, which is the crowning of a farce.
That's enough, Cecily.
Father, why do they want you at the coronation?
Because they care for your father's safety.
They care for your father's neck.
Now, don't be such alarmists. But yes, Anne, they do care for me. They even sent 20 pounds for me to purchase a new robe.
That you can use.
What else does the letter say, Father?
Well, they tell me how pleased the king and Lady Anne will be by my presence.
Are you sure the mention of the king does not mean he's responsible for this invitation? If you refuse, he may be offended. It may mean something.
Not that, Alice. The king has no use for me now. Though he has found my conscience a troublesome matter, he will leave me at peace. No. I shall be sitting in that favorite chair of mine for some time yet.
Well, if the king is not responsible for this invitation, then it comes from those good friends of yours. And I think it's a pity you have to offend your friends so much.
They are generous and honest enough to respect my judgment. Come, Alice. Don't look so worried. We'll go to church here, not in London, and we'll think no more about coronations.
Not hussy. We indeed. Little satisfaction there would be in seeing her crowned in place of her betters.
You see, now you know where the children learn their skill of rhetoric.
Right this way, Sir Thomas.
Sir Thomas, I'm sorry to have invited you here on such a short notice. Good of you to come. Master Rich here will make a record of our conversation.
Good of you to tell me.
I think you know one another.
Indeed, yes. We're old friends. That's a nice gown you have, Richard.
So Thomas, believe me. No, that's asking too much. But let me tell you all the same. You have no more sincere admirer than myself. Not yet, Rich. Not yet.
If I might hear the charges.
Charges?
I understood there are certain charges.
Some ambiguities of behavior I should like to clarify. Pardon, charges.
Make a note of that, Master Rich. There are no charges.
So Sir Thomas, the king is not pleased with you.
I am grieved.
Yet, do you know that even now, if you could bring yourself to agree with the lords, the churches, commons, the universities, there would be no honor His Majesty would be likely to deny you?
I am well acquainted with His Majesty's generosity.
In June of 1521, the king published a book, a theological work. It was called The Defense of the Seven Sacraments.
Yes, for which he was named Defender of the Faith by His Holiness the Pope.
By the Bishop of Rome. Or do you insist on Pope?
No. Bishop of Rome, if you like. It does not alter his authority.
Thank you. You've come to the point quite readily. What is that authority? For example, concerning the church in England, what is the Bishop of Rome's authority?
You will find it very ably set out and defended, Master Secretary, in the King's book.
In the book published under the King's name would be more accurate. You wrote this book.
I wrote no part of it.
I don't mean you actually held the pen.
I answered to my best ability some points of canon law which the King put to me, as I was bound to do.
Do you deny that you instigated it?
It was from first to last the King's own project.
The King says not.
The King knows the truth of it, and whatever he may have said to you, he will not give evidence to support this accusation.
Why not?
Because evidence is given on oath, and the King will not perjure himself. If you do not know this, you do not yet know him.
Sir Thomas More, is there anything you wish to say to me concerning the King's marriage with Queen Anne?
I understood I was not to be asked that again.
Evidently, you understood wrongly. These charges
are terrors for children, Master Secretary. Not for me.
Then know that the King commands me to charge you in his name with great ingratitude, and to tell you that there never was, nor could be, so villainous a servant, nor so treacherous a subject as yourself.
So, I am brought here at last.
Brought? You brought yourself to where you stand now. You may go. For the present.
Do you still think you can frighten him?
I will frighten him. The King wants either Sir Thomas More to bless his marriage, or Sir Thomas More destroyed.
But what will you do?
Whatever is necessary.
Fine mess I'm in now. Cromwell provides me with a ride to his office, and no ride home. Bo! Come now. It's not as bad as all that. As if giving me a ride would put one in danger. Bo! guess I'll have to walk home, and at this hour. It will sure be late by the time I reach home, and Lady Alice will not be pleased, and I fear that more than lack of sleep.
Thomas?
Howard, I've just come from seeing Cromwell, and I can't even hire a boat.
Do you blame them?
Is it as bad as that?
It's every bit as bad as that.
Then it's good of you to be seen with me.
I followed you.
Will you follow?
Yes, I was followed. Thomas, you're dangerous to know.
Then don't know me.
I don't know you.
I mean as a friend.
I am your friend. I wish I wasn't, but I am.
What's to be done then?
Give in.
I can't give in, Howard. You might as well ask a man to change the color of his eyes. Our friendship's more mutable than that.
Oh. The one fixed point in a world of changing friendships is that Thomas More will not give in.
For me, it has to be, Howard. Affection goes as deep in me as it does in you. But only God is loved right through, and that's myself.
And who are you? Who are you? A lawyer and a lawyer's son. We're supposed to be the proud ones, the arrogant ones, and we've all given in. Why must you stand out? It's disproportionate.
No one is safe, Howard. You have a son. We'll end our friendship now. We'll part as friends and meet as strangers.
Dad, Thomas. Why do you want to take your friendship from me? For friendship's sake? You say we'll meet as strangers, but every word you say confirms our friendship.
That can be remedied. Norfolk, you're a fool.
You can't place a quarrel, Thomas. You haven't the style.
Hear me out. You and your class have given in, as you rightly call it, because the religion of this country matters nothing to you one way or the other.
Well, that's a foolish saying for a start. The nobility of England.
The nobility of England, my lord, would have snored to the Sermon on the Mount. Yet you'll labor like scholars over a bulldog's pedigree. You'll fight to the finish to prove your dogs are purebred.
No. You won't get me angry over this. Artificial quarrel is not a quarrel.
We have had a quarrel since the day we met. Our friendship was mere slope.
Or you can be cruel with your mind to be. But I've always known that.
What do you value in your bulldogs? Cribbing, is it not?
Yes.
That's why you breed them?
Yes.
It's their nature.
Yes.
And if one gave up, let go, you'd hang that dog. And so it is with men. I will not give in because I oppose it. Not my pride, not my spleen, nor any other of my appetites, but because I do, I. Is there in the midst of all this muscle, is there no single city that serves no appetite of Norfolk's, but it's just Norfolk there is? Well, give that some exercise, my lord, because as you stand now, you will go before your Maker, very ill-conditioned, and he will wonder about your pedigree. Are you really purebred? Are you of any worth? Are you really nobility?
Father! Father, what happened?
That was Norfolk.
Norfolk, he hit you.
Yes. I spoke lightly of bulldogs.
Truly, Father, what happened?
I couldn't get a boat. But what are the two of you doing out? Sunbroker, what kind of husband are you? To be out in the streets of London with your wife at this hour?
We were looking for you, Father.
There's a new act going for Parliament.
Well,
By this act, they're going to administer an oath.
on what compulsion is this oath?
High treason.
But what are the words?
What do the words matter? We know what it will mean.
An oath is made of words. It will mean what the words say. Have we a copy of the bill?
I asked that one be sent to Chelsea.
Then, let's get home and look at it. It may be possible to take this oath.
Take the oath.
Yes. And you must take it too.
No. No.
Absolutely not.
Listen. God made angels for his splendor, as he made animals for their innocence and plants for their simplicity. But man he made to serve him wittily in the tangle of his mind. If he suffers us to come to such a pass, that there is no escaping, then we may stand best to our tower. Yes, then we may clamor like champions, if we have the spittle for it. But it's God's part, not our own, to come to such a pass. Our natural business lies in escaping. If I can take this oath, I will.
I would for my sake you could take the oath, Sir Thomas. Never to command us willingly into the tower.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm really sorry, Sir Thomas, but you know I must do my job.
Yes. You must do your job, and I must do mine. But I thank you for your pity.
Sir Thomas! Sir Thomas!
What?
Get up. You have company.
What time is it?
1 o'clock in the morning, sir.
This isn't just... Who is it this time?
Sir Cromwell, Archbishop Cranmer, and Sir Norfolk.
Archbishop Cranmer? Well, I must be rising in esteem. Even he is coming to visit me now. Well, how do I look? Suitable for such visitors? And what do we have to offer these visitors? Any special entertainment?
Shh. Sir Thomas, don't let them hear you take this so lightly. Here they come.
Good evening, sirs. Your Grace. Or should I say, good morning?
Enough, Thomas. Sit down. This is the seventh commission appointed by His Majesty's Council to inquire into the case of Sir Thomas More. Have you anything to say?
No.
Sir Thomas, have you seen this document before?
Many times.
It is the Act of Succession. These are the names of all those who have already sworn to it.
I have, as you said, seen it before.
Will you swear to this act?
No.
Thomas, we must know plainly. We must know plainly whether you recognize the offspring of Queen Anne as heirs to the throne.
The king in Parliament tells me they are. Of course I recognize them.
Will you swear that you do?
Yes.
Then why don't you swear to the act?
Because there is more than that in the act.
Is that it?
Yes.
Then we must find out what it is in the act that he objects to.
Brilliant.
Your Grace, may I try? of course. I don't pretend to be an expert in police work.
Sir Thomas, it states in the preamble that the king's former marriage to Lady Catherine was unlawful, being his brother's widow, and the Pope having no authority to sanction. Is that what you deny? Is that what you dispute? Is that what you are not sure of?
Thomas, you insult His Majesty and the Council in the person of the Lord Archbishop.
I insult no one. I will not swear to it. I will not tell you why I will not.
Then your reasons must be treasonable.
Not must be. Maybe.
It's a fair assumption.
The law requires more than an assumption. The law requires a fact.
Well, of course, I cannot judge your legal standings in the case, but until I know the ground of your objections, I can only guess your spiritual standing too.
Well, if you're willing to guess at that, it is a small matter to guess at my objections.
So you do have objections to the act?
Well, we know that, Cromwell.
No, my lord, you don't. You may suppose I have objections. All you know is that I will not sign it, for which you cannot lawfully harm me further. But if you were right in supposing I had objections, and right again in supposing that my objections be treasonable, the law would let you cut my head off.
Oh. Yes.
Well done, Sir Thomas. I have been trying to make that clear to His Grace for some time now.
Oh, confound all this. I'm not a scholar, as Master Cromwell never tires of pointing out. And frankly, I don't know whether the marriage was lawful or not. But Thomas, look. Look at those men. You know those names. Can't you do what I did and come with us? For fellowship.
And when I'm sent to hell for doing what my conscience tells me not to do, would you come with me for fellowship?
So those of us whose names are there are damned, Sir Thomas?
I have no window to look into another man's conscience. I condemn no one.
So then the matter is capable of question.
Certainly.
But that you owe obedience to your king is not capable of question. So weigh a doubt against a certainty and sign.
Some men think the world is flat. Others think it round. But if it be flat, would the king's command make it round? And if it be round, would the king's command flatten it?
So you have more regard for your own doubt than the king's command.
For myself, I have no doubt.
No doubt what?
No doubt that I will not sign it. Why I will not? You, Master Secretary, will not trick out of me.
I can get it out of you in other ways.
You threaten like a dockside bully.
How should I threaten?
Like a minister of state with justice.
Oh, justice is what you're threatened with.
Then I am not threatened. Jensen, can't I go to bed?
Oh, we're not getting anywhere. Yes, I think we should depart. Unless you, my lord.
I see no purpose in prolonging this.
I think his cell should be searched.
Come now. What is there to search?
Norfolk. I have my orders. Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
Remove the prisoner, then search his cell.
Yes, sir. Jailer, remove Sir Thomas.
Remove the prisoner.
Yes, sir. Jailer, remove the prisoner.
Yes, sir. This way, prisoner.
May I have one or two more books?
Books. You have books.
Yes.
I didn't know. You shouldn't have.
May I see my family?
No. Now leave. Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard the prisoner speak of the king's divorce, the king's supremacy, or the king's marriage?
No, Mr. Secretary. Not a word.
If you do, you will report it to me.
Of course.
Rich, tomorrow morning, remove the prisoner's books.
Is that really necessary?
Norfolk, the king is becoming impatient.
With you?
With all of us. You know his impatience. His impatience will embrace a duke or two.
Your Grace, will you be departing with me?
I will.
Master Secretary.
Well,
Sir Redbridge Llewellyn is retired. Attorney General Doyle. You said I may approach.
not now, Rich. He must submit. He must.
Bracken.
What?
Bracken.
Tempting. No. The king's conscience will not permit it. But there are other ways.
Father,
Meg. They haven't put you in here.
No, sir. Just a visit, but a short one.
Alice.
good morning, husband.
Father, this is an awful place.
Except for the fact it keeps me from you, dears. It's remarkably like any other place.
It drips.
Yes. Too near the river.
Why have they let you come?
Father, come out.
No?
Swear to the act and come out.
Is this why they've let you come?
Yes.
Meg's under oath to persuade you.
That was silly, Meg. And how do you come to do that?
Father, we had to see you.
And how can you convince me to swear to the act?
You always taught me. God more regards the thoughts of the heart than the words of the mouth. So you have always told me.
Yes?
Then say the words of the oath. And in your heart, think otherwise.
What is an oath, then? What words we say to God? When a man takes an oath, he is holding his own self in his own hands, like water. And if he opens his fingers then, he need never hope to find himself again. Some men are capable of this, but I should hate your father to be one of them.
I have another argument.
Oh.
In any state that was half good, you would be raised up high. Not here for what you've done already. It's not your fault that the state's 3/4 bad. But if you elect yourself to suffer for it, you elect yourself a hero, and that's pride.
That's very neat, Meg. Well, listen here. If we lived in a state where virtue were profitable, common sense would make us saintly. But since we see that avarice, pride, hatred, and stupidity profit far beyond charity, modesty, and thought, perhaps we must stand fast a little, even at the risk of being a hero.
But be reasonable. Haven't you done as much as God can want?
Well, finally, it isn't a matter of reason. Finally, it's a matter of love.
You're content then to be shut up here with mice and rats when you might be home with us?
Content? If they'd open a crack that wide, I'd be through it, and like a bird fly back to Chelsea.
I haven't yet told you what the house is like without you.
Meg, don't.
What we do in evenings, now that you're not here.
Don't, Meg.
We don't read because we've no candles, and we don't talk because we wonder what they're doing to you here.
The king is more merciful. He doesn't use the rack.
2 minutes to go, sir. I thought you'd like to know.
2 minutes. Gentlemen.
Sorry, sir. 2 minutes.
Listen. You must leave the country.
And leave you here?
It makes no difference. If this attempt hasn't made me give in, it will not let me see you again. You must leave on the same day, but on different boats. Different boats from different ports.
After the trial.
There'll be no trial. They have no case. Do this for me, I beseech you. Rover.
Yes.
Margaret.
Yes.
Alice. Alice, I commend you.
Right.
Well, I know who packed this.
I packed it.
Yes. You still make a superlative custard, Alice.
Do I?
That's a nice dress you have on.
It's my cooking dress.
Nice color, anyways.
You think little of me. I know I'm a fool, but I'm not such a fool. That at a time like this, I'd be crying over my dresses, or relish compliments on my cooking.
Well, I'm well rebuked. Alice.
No.
I am sick with fear when I think of the worst they may do to me. But worse than that would be to go with you not understanding why I go.
I don't.
Alice, if you can tell me you understand, I may be able to make a good death if I have to.
Your death's no good to me.
Alice, tell me you understand.
I don't. I don't believe this had to happen.
If you say that, I don't see how I'm supposed to face it.
It's the truth.
Oh, you're an honest woman.
Much good may it do me. I'll tell you what I'm afraid of. That when you're gone, I shall hate you for it.
No, you mustn't. You mustn't, Alice.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. As for understanding, I understand that you're the best man that I've ever met, or am likely to. And if you go, God knows why, I suppose. But God is my witness. He's kept deadly quiet about it. And if anyone wants to know my opinion of the king and his council, he only has to ask for it.
Why, it's a lion. I married a lion. Say what you may. This custard's very good.
Sorry, Sir Thomas.
For pity's sake, stop!
Time's up, sir.
Just one more minute.
Don't know what you're asking, sir.
For pity's sake!
Come on, miss.
For pity's sake!
Now, don't do that, sir. You don't want me to get in trouble. Come on. Come on, Lady Alice.
Take your money paws off me! Filthy, stinking gutter bread!
Call me what you like now. We've got to go.
I'll see you pay for this. You rotten, no good, unmerciful!
Goodbye, Alice.
You must understand my position, sir. I'm a plain and simple man. I just want to keep out of trouble. Just an ordinary man, like everyone else. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get in trouble.
get involved. Don't want to get in trouble. Dear Lord, give me strength. Be my strength.
Sir Thomas More, you have been called before this court here at Westminster to answer charges. You have greatly offended the King's Majesty. We hope if you even now repent of your obstinate opinions, that you may still taste his gracious pardon.
My lords, I thank you. As for the matters you may charge me with, I fear, because of my present weakness, neither my wit nor my memory will much assist me. For this reason, I would be glad to sit down.
The chair of the prisoner, Master Secretary Cromwell, have you the charge?
I have, my lord.
Then read the charge.
That you did, willfully and maliciously, deny and deprive our liege Lord Henry of his undoubted certain title, Supreme Head of the Church in England.
But I have never denied this title.
You failed to swear to the act at the Tower and at other places. Was this no denial?
No. This was silence. And for my silence, I am punished with imprisonment. Why have I been called again?
On a charge of high treason, Sir Thomas.
For which the punishment is not imprisonment.
Death comes for us all, my lords. Yes, even for kings he comes.
The death of kings is not in question.
Nor mine, I trust, until I am proven guilty.
Your life lies in your own hands, Thomas, as it always has.
Is that so? Then I shall keep a good grip on it.
So, Thomas, you stand on your silence?
I do.
But, gentlemen of the jury, there are many kinds of silence. Consider first the silence of a man when he is dead. Let us walk into the room where he is laid out. Listen. What do we hear? Silence. And what does it betoken, this silence? Nothing. This is silence pure and simple. But let us take another case. Say I were to take a dagger from my sleeve and make to kill the prisoner with it, and my lordships there, instead of crying out for me to stop, remained their silence. That would betoken. It would betoken a willingness that I should do it, and under the law, they would be guilty with me. So, silence can, according to the circumstances, speak. Now, let us take the prisoner's case. The oath was given to loyal subjects up and down the country, who all declared His Majesty's title to be just and good. But when it came to the prisoner, he refused. He calls this silence. Yet, is there a man in this court, is there a man in this country who does not know Sir Thomas More's opinion of the king's title? Yet how can this be? For this silence was not silence at all, but most eloquent denial.
Not so. Not so. The maxim is, quitacet consentire. The maxim of the law is silence gives consent. If therefore you wish to construe what my silence betokens, you must construe that I consented, not that I denied.
Is that what the world construes from it? Or is that what you wish the world to construe from it?
The world must construe according to its wits. This court must construe according to the law.
My lords, I wish to call Sir Richard Rich. Richard Rich, come to court.
I do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help me God, sir.
So help me God.
Sir Rich, on the 12th of May, you were at the Tower.
I was.
For what purpose?
I was sent to carry away the prisoner's books.
Did you speak to the prisoner?
Yes.
What did you say?
I said, I will put to you a case. By Act of Parliament, I, Richard Rich, is made King of England. Would you, Master Moore, accept me as king?
Well?
Yes, I would, he said. For then, you would be king. Then he said?
Yes.
He said, I will put to you a higher case. What if an act of Parliament says that God shall not be God?
This is true, and then
Silence.
he says,
Continue, Master Rich.
Then I said, I will put to you a middle case. Parliament has made the king head of the church in England. Why will you not accept it?
Well,
he said, Parliament has not the power to do it.
repeats the prisoner's words.
He said, Parliament has not the competence.
He denied the title.
Yes.
in good faith, Richard, I am sorrier for your perjury than my own peril.
Do you deny this?
Yes. My lords, you know, if I were a man who heeded not taking of an oath, I need not be here. Now I will take an oath. If what Master Rich has said is true, I pray I may never see God in the face, which I would not say were it otherwise for anything on earth.
That is not evidence.
Is it probable? Is it probable that after so long a silence on this point so urgently sought of me, I would open my mind to such a man as that? My lords, I am sorry to say this, but some of you are well acquainted with this man's reputation. He has always been lightly esteemed, known as a liar, a gambler, and one not to be trusted. Is it probable that after so long a silence, I would confide in him?
Sir Richard, do you wish to change your testimony?
No, my lord.
Do you have anything to take away from it?
No, my lord.
Do you have anything to add?
No, my lord.
Do you, Sir Thomas?
To what purpose? I am a dead man. You have your will of me.
Then the witness may withdraw.
There is one question I would like to ask the witness. That's a chain of office you're wearing, Richard. May I see it? The Red Dragon. What's this?
Sir Richard has been appointed Attorney General for Wales.
Why, Richard? It profits a man nothing to give his soul to the whole world, but to Wales.
Is this your only witness?
Sir Richard has informed us of the traitorous statement of Sir Thomas. I think we need no more evidence.
Then the jury will retire and consider the evidence.
Considering the evidence, it should not be necessary for them to retire. Is it necessary?
No, it is not necessary to retire.
Then is the prisoner guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, my lord.
Sir Thomas More, you are found guilty of high treason.
My lord, when I was practicing the law, the manner was to ask the prisoner, before pronouncing sentence, if you had anything to say.
Have you anything to say?
Yes. Since the court has determined to condemn me, God knoweth how, I will now discharge my mind concerning the indictment and the king's title. The indictment is grounded in an act of Parliament which is directly repugnant to the laws of God and His holy church, the supreme government of which no temporal person may, by any law, presume to take upon him. This was granted by the mouth of our Savior to St. Peter and the bishops of Rome, whilst he lived and was personally present here on this earth. It is therefore insufficient in law to charge any Christian to obey. And more to this, the immunity of the church is guaranteed in both the Magna Carta and the King's own coronation oath.
Now we plainly see you are malicious.
Not so. Not so. I am the King's good servant. I pray for him and all the realm. I do none harm. I say none harm. I think none harm. And if this be not enough to keep a man alive, in good faith I long not to live.
Nevertheless, it is not for the supremacy that you have sought my blood, but because I would not bend to the marriage.
You are found guilty of high treason. The sentence of the court is that you shall be taken from the court to the Tower of London, thence to the place of your execution.
You remember me? Remember me?
Yes, my lady.
You deserve this what you did to me.
I did you no wrong.
What? You did me great wrong.
And what was that?
You were chancellor. You gave me wrong judgment, master. What injury you did me by your false judgment.
Woman, I'm going to my death now. I remember well the whole matter. And if now I were to file a sentence again, I assure you, I would not alter it. You had no injury, so be content, and trouble me no more.
What? You're wrong! That man! No!
Sir Thomas! Sir Thomas! Here, Sir Thomas. Drink this. This will help you, Sir Thomas.
Our Lord bless you. Thank you. But no. My Savior had vinegar and gall given him to drink. Not one.
Sir Thomas! Sir Thomas!
Meg, you shouldn't have come.
Give me a bosom, Father.
May God bless you. My dear God. My friend. My heart and my mind. Do give me strength. You must go then. Leave here at once.
No, Father.
Meg, not just for you, but for me. Meg, I command you. Go. We will meet merrily in heaven.
Sir Thomas! Sir Thomas! Mr. Corbin!
Bring my head safely up to that block. And as for coming off of it, I'll shift for myself. Lift up your spirits, good man, and be not afraid of doing your duty. Now look, my neck is very short. Make sure you strike accurately, and please wait till I've adjusted my beard, for it has never offended His Highness.
You joke at a time like this?
What better time? I am on my way to see my Lord, my Maker, and my Savior. The joy in my heart cannot help but spill over. Dear Lord, let me not forget thy long and fearful agony. Let not my strength fail me. And give me mercy, according to thy great mercy.
Sir Thomas. Say what you have to say, Sir Thomas. But remember, the king has asked that you keep it short.
I am glad you informed me of his gracious command, for I had intended to speak at length. But I am ready to obediently conform myself to his gracious command. I am commanded by the king to be brief, and since I am the king's obedient subject, brief I will be. I die the king's good servant, but God's first. I forgive you. Right readily. be not afraid of doing your duty. You send me to God.
You are very sure of that, Sir Thomas.
He will not refuse one who is so anxious to go to him.
The cast of A Man for All Times. Servants and crowd. William Bishop Berger, Daniel Gahan, Anthony Ingracia, Thomas Kearns, Nicholas Ferrone, Ian Milasek, and John Semioli. King's Men and Jury. Benjamin Sicali, Peter Campbell, Maxwell Sicali, Brendan Fonts, Anthony Milio, and Michael Prinzo. Wife of Matthew, Christina Milio. Lead juror, Sean Carroll. Guards, Michael Katoya and Liam Jensen. Executioner, Gabriel Erling. Palace Beggar, Emma Bishopberger. Ladies of the Palace, Alicia Bertram, Annika Bertram, Gemma Paholski, Melena Semioli, Grace Jenkins, and Leah Paholski. Anna Bacon, Philomena Erling. Dottie and Maggie, Brianna McCarthy, and Emmy Millicent. Cromwell's secretary, Madeline Erling. Ann Moore, Catherine Bremer. Cecily Moore, Amanda Castell. John Moore, Nicholas Hawes. Elizabeth Moore, Claire Hobestadt.
Lieutenant Sean Lopez. Evan Millicent. Matthew Patrick Kennedy. Lady Eleanor Rita Barone. Michael Castell. Anne Lynn. Kelly Frank. Richard Rich. Matthew Daniels. Queen Catherine of Aragon. Vianna Semioli. William Roper. Aiden Carroll. Cromwell. Daniel Kennedy. Houston Norfolk. Kieran Jensen. Meg Roper. Bridget Kearns. Alice Moore. Carrie McCarthy. King Henry VIII. Connor Malone. St. Thomas More. Patrick Kerr. I present to you Dance of the Men for All Times 2018.
Mrs. Hudley, Sister Mary Phillip, and the other sisters, you worked day and night to create our costumes. We're so grateful. The time period costumes help us go back to the time of St. Thomas More. I know I speak for everyone when I say I hope you'll sew the costumes for many years to come.
This year, the orchestra sounded fantastic. Your patience inspired us to make beautiful music. And by the way, your taste in music is excellent. It exactly coincides with our own. Thank you.
Father Baumberger, you did so much more for our play than we ever hoped for. We can't thank you enough or find a big enough gift to repay you. So we'll work hard to make you proud of us. Thank you.
Sister Mary Agnes, thank you for your complete dedication to a man for all times. We're grateful for all the productions of the past 12 years, but especially this last spring play. We graduate from this school as God's and yours good servants. I don't know if that makes sense. But to Sister Mary Agnes and all the sisters, we thank you and we say, stay a teacher.
to come down to the front. This is their last play at St. Pius, I'm sad to say. And while I'm proud of the whole cast, I'm especially proud of my senior class. They are my stage crew, the hardworking stage crew, my stage managers, and my lead actors, docile and cooperative lead actors. So I have one last little tribute for this senior class. This is a large senior class. This is kind of a challenge, 13 of them. We're going to miss our senior class, and I know deep in their heart they're going to miss St. Pius, maybe not the homework. I did love that line, stay a teacher. Not sure whose idea that was, but we plan to. We plan to have many more plays, we hope, in the new school very soon. And I loved that goblet. Last night they presented me with the box. I didn't know what was in it until later. But we used it in tonight's play, and it's a beautiful play prop, which I enjoy. So once again, I congratulate my whole cast, especially my group that's soon to exit, and I thank all of you for coming.